O que acontece quando você junta um esquerdista corrupto, um presidente americano frouxo e navios de guerra de um regime terrorista? Pois é, amigos, o Brasil tornou-se o novo playground do eixo do mal. Enquanto o governo Biden boicotava Israel, Lula abria os portos brasileiros para a elite da guerra do Irã. 2 navios de guerra iranianos ancoravam no Rio de Janeiro, desobedecendo o embargo dos Estados Unidos, que ficaram caladinhos com Biden ainda no poder. Sabe quem comemorou? A turma da foice e do martelo, os aliados da censura e os amigos da corrupção. Mas calma, a história piora. E muito. O fato foi considerado tão grave nos Estados Unidos que o Senado convocou o secretário para assuntos do hemisfério ocidental, Brian Nichols, a dar explicações. O senador Ted Cruz cobrou pela execução das sanções e o secretário de Biden gaguejou. Vamos ao vídeo?
Mr. Nichols, I'm deeply concerned that the Western Hemisphere is being overwhelmed by anti-Americanism, and that countries across the region are aligning themselves with our adversaries and our enemies. I'm deeply concerned that former U.S. allies are being replaced by leaders who are actively hostile to us and our interests, and that the Biden administration has chosen to embrace many of those leaders. President Biden warmly hosted Lula da Silva at the White House and called him a close friend. Lula is an anti-American Chavista who embraces the Chinese Communist Party, Vladimir Putin, and the Iranian regime. I'll note that President Biden has not extended the same courtesy to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and indeed the Biden White House has made clear that Israel's Prime Minister is not welcome in the Biden White House. Now, one of the very insidious ways that our adversaries and our enemies have infiltrated the region is through corruption. China, Russia, and Iran all exploit endemic corruption, including and especially corruption driven by left-wing movements to advance their geopolitical agendas. Congress, and specifically this committee, has recognized the importance of combating such corruption and have given you powerful tools, in particular under Section 7031C, sanction authorities. The Biden administration has used these sanctions repeatedly across the Western Hemisphere, but not, I'm dismayed to say, not against the left-wing anti-American communists who are aligning with Russia and China and Iran. Quite the opposite. Again, the Biden administration has looked the other way at malign behavior from such actors. Well, Brazil. Bolsonaro, a pro-American leader, was replaced, to the Biden administration's cheering, with an anti-American radical Lula. And there is corruption likewise in the Lula government. In February, Lula allowed 2 of Iran's most advanced warships to dock in the port of Rio de Janeiro. The United States opposed that act, at least formally. In fact, the United States sanctioned those ships with what are supposed to be powerful designations, and yet it happened. I believe the Lula government's corruption played a significant role in their decision to ignore the Biden administration and allow the docking. Do you agree with that assessment? And has the Biden administration enforced any sanctions related to that instance, and in particular to the Brazilians providing material support to the Iranian ships?
The administration engaged our partners throughout the hemisphere, and we're very pleased that the Iranian ships were not able to dock anywhere else. We're deeply disappointed that one of the 2 ships was able to dock in Brazil. The other was offshore. I would refer you to OFAC for any additional information on
Has the Biden administration sanctioned the Brazilian government, led by Joe Biden's self-described good friend, the anti-American leftist Lula? Have you sanctioned the Brazilian government for violating U.S. law and allowing the Iranian ships to dock?
I would refer you to OFAC as to whether or not they've made a determination that action violated.
You don't know whether you've sanctioned Brazil?
I would refer you to OFAC.
Do you know?
I would refer you to OFAC.
Do you know the answer? That's a yes or no question. Do you know whether the Biden administration has sanctioned Brazil?
I am not aware of any sanctions with regard to that specific situation.
Nor am I, and that's the problem.
Se você também acha que o Brasil virou um circo comandado por palhaços vermelhos, já deixa o like aqui. E ó, se inscreve no canal e ativa o sininho, porque a cada novo absurdo desse governo, eu volto aqui pra te contar a verdade. Agora comenta aqui embaixo. Lula e Biden são só amigos vermelhinhos ou são comparsas de esquemas sujos? Quero saber a sua opinião. Compartilha esse vídeo pra gente abrir os olhos do Brasil. Fiquem com Deus e até o próximo vídeo, pessoal.